And we're live. Hi to our viewers. It's always a
Hello.
pleasure to be with you on a Wednesday, on a Tuesday. Yes, we look forward for this time where we just chat, and we had such a wonderful time last week because we had our viewers participating. And we just love it when you come in and you comment and you be a part of this discussion because it's not just about us. And there are things that we ourselves may learn from you, or in fact, will learn from you. There are things that we will learn from you. And so we know that this is a learning experience. And last week, we were talking about depression, Christine. And we had some wonderful, wonderful comments. Now, one Facebook user commented that just as we need,
Band-Aids. Yeah. Do you want me to go?
right, you go
So we were
ahead.
just talking about how a bandage is, or a mask, is something that we may wear to cover our feelings while we are trying to heal. And that's where we're going to start off the conversation today. So,
Yes.
yes. So what do you want me to start with what my thoughts are on that comment,
Yes,
or
you go right. You go right ahead, my dear.
yeah, okay. So in the context of our feelings and even in our physical body, we definitely sometimes have to cover those parts that are wounded because one, sometimes it's so unsightly that people can't even accept it at that point. It may make other people physically hurt or just uncomfortable. And
Mm.
until we're comfortable with it ourselves, sometimes that's what we have to do to really assess our feelings and to become one with whatever we've gone through. It's not healthy to always walk around with a mask or a band-aid on our feelings. And that's where I think a lot of professionals will say, "Oh, it's not healthy to wear a mask. You need to be your true authentic self." And yes, that is true, but at the same time, we have to have balance. And I think that we have to keep in mind that sometimes it is healthy to have that bandage or that mask while we heal. And then to remember to take it off because a stinky band aid is unsightly as well. And that's not
Right.
attractive either, right? So it's a healthy balance. What do you think?
Yes, I after the program, I sat down and I thought a bit. I said, I don't want the viewers to go away with the thought that I was one against mask.
Mhm.
Mask has its place, right?
Right,
And
right.
just as mask has its place, there are times when you have to mask whatever is going on with you. Uh,
Mhm.
there are times you go to an establishment to purchase something, and the person who at the counter is really angry and takes it out on you. And even though we as the consumer have to understand, well, okay, this person is probably having a bad day.
Mhm.
It really was a time for that person to use a mask
Right.
and be able to smile through it and be nice through it. Now,
Yeah.
th-
I see
this
Willie says you have
conversation,
to
this,
speak to
this
heal.
conversation, what's that?
Yeah, Willie's commented and said, "No, you have to speak to heal." And I get that, right? But I think that if we carry our trauma with us to a place of employment and we think that we can treat someone any kind of way, then that is you not wearing your mask appropriately. And yes, as a manager or a leader, because you can be a leader in your workplace and not be a manager. If you are a leader in your workplace, then you should be able to wear your professional mask where appropriate. But as a leader, you also need to recognize when other people need time aside and they need someone supporting them and in their corner. And often that is the time where it is appropriate for you to let them speak so that they can get that out of their system so they may move on and not have to feel like they're wearing a mask. So I agree with Willie. I agree with you. I think there's just multiple ways that we have to look at this. It's a multifaceted conversation. It's not just a one size fits all. You wear your
Right.
mask and it's over. It's not like that. But sometimes, I guess I'll say it this way. When I was healing emotionally, going through the after effects of sexual assault, I had to wear a mask around my daughter. It would not have been fair for me to lay my burdens on a minor child. So sometimes the trauma that we go through, it is appropriate to speak about it to heal, but it is not appropriate to speak to everyone about it. And that mask that I wore for her benefit around her, she doesn't even remember it. I ask her now at 18, do you remember when we came back home, and did you feel like I was distant or that I was not available to you? And she goes, Mom, I don't even remember. I had a good childhood. So I did my job as best as I could, right? I had to wear a mask for her benefit. I loved her so much that I did not want her to know how scared, how afraid, and how alone I felt. And
Right.
and because of that, she had peace. She had no fear. She had no sadness. Um, and that allowed me to heal on my own a lot better because I was able to put it in context at the appropriate place and the appropriate time. Aw, thank
Right.
you. I did my job. Thank
And
you.
Facebook user, that's what we seen you as a person who said, yes, you did a good job. You're
Yeah,
an amazing mother. We
thank
would
you.
love to know who
Who
is
is that?
corresponding with us. So just drop in your name so that we can shout you out by name.
Yeah,
And
unfortunately, we can't see your name. Thanks for the kisses too.
yes, we just in Facebook user.
Yeah.
Yes, that conversation, and when I saw that comment under the discussion that we had last week, I had to go and research because that's what I usually do, right? So I went and researched the difference between band age and band aid
Mm-hmm.
because there is a total difference, right? So now we
Well,
have the band age, which have been there for ages. A band is a reinforcement, right? It's something that you use to reinforce. If my hand is broken, they can band it up to reinforce to keep the bone. Um, so there are band aids that doesn't have aid. And so I can put a band aid on my cuts without the aid, and it causes much more harm than good.
mm,
Because of course we know that it's the sticky ones where the entire thing is sticky, so you have to get aid and apply with it when you put it on the wound. And then there's the band aid that already has an aid is help. It already has the help that is needed on the band, on the reinforcement. And that reinforcement, that band aid, is it is not so much for persons not to look at it in a funny way, but it is to shun that very individual who has the wound from getting infections. It is to keep them from getting infections.
right.
And so that when we choose it's seeing mask as a band-aid, when we use that mask and behind that mask there must be the balance that brings healing.
Yeah.
You and I are like band-aids right now because we have been through our experiences, right?
Right.
And we are now the aids that is here to tell persons, listen, it is possible. Even though sometimes you have to go to your jobs and it's difficult to keep a smile on your face and it's difficult to be nice to persons, it is possible.
Yes.
And when it becomes impossible, you know that for yourself and get help, take time off, get help. But one of the ways that it is possible is daily doing our meditation. Christine, we can both testify to the difference morning meditation does.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
When
Morning
you
meditation is for me, it's just part of my routine now. It's part of my morning routine. Uh, I meditate, I pray, I have gratitude. My youngest knows that we wake up and we talk about what we're grateful for, what we're thankful for every day, every single day. And often it's that we're grateful for each other and we're grateful to wake up and we're grateful for the home that we live in and the bed that we slept in. Um, and then a list of other things, right?
right,
So, um, that morning meditation to reflect and to be grateful changes your attitude. Because when you go through something that's difficult, when you focus on the things that you have to be grateful for, I mean, you wake up and you're alive. You've gone through trauma, but yet you're alive. You're breathing. You have a chance to make the next day a better day.
right.
And you lose a leg, but you have your arms.
Mm,
You could lose all of your appendages, but if you are still talking, you have your mind. And if you lose your mind, you still have life. And as
mm,
long as we have life, as long as we have breath in us, then we have the opportunity to change lives, whether it's
right.
ourselves or others. And that is
Mm-hmm.
something to be grateful for. We always have something to be
Yes,
grateful for.
yes. And we are, Christine, in no way saying that you won't have a down moment. We
No,
are
no,
in no way saying that there aren't days that you won't be angry. No
no,
way we are. We, we, we
right.
we
There
would be
and
hypocrites
see,
to
when
say
you
that,
start
right?
having gratitude on a daily
Mm-hmm.
basis, you go
Mm-hmm.
from days of fully being angry all day to having moments,
Of
only
being angry.
moments of anger, because you
Mm,
know that throughout the day, you woke up with gratitude. You have appreciation for life in you. And as you start your day, that is how you go about your day. Often we have what people will call the snowball effect, right? And they
mm,
talk about it in the movie The Secret about the law of attraction. When you start your day off looking at negative things, well, then, you wake up and you're like, oh, I have to go to work. And that's the same day that you probably stub your toe. The water is cold and it won't get hot before you take a shower. You're
mm.
running late. The clothes that you want to wear are somehow wrinkled or you spill something on you. Traffic is backed up,
Hmm.
right? And it's a snowball effect. Why? Because that's what you're looking at. That's what you're focused on, rather than, I woke up today. I get to get up out of my bed. I have the ability to stand. Ooh, I stubbed my toe. Thank God I have toes. You know,
Mm.
you, You go to the bathroom, the water is cold, but you say, "Thank God I have water." There are some people in the world that don't have a shower or running water in their home. Um, you're running late for work. Well, now when you're stuck in traffic, you can listen to your favorite song one more time. It changes the way that you look at things when you start with meditation and gratitude.
Right. And we know there may be persons who would have the opportunity to look at this show, and you may be going through depression and you're saying, oh, it's easy for you to see it. I've tried it and it didn't work. We continue to say that depending on what we are going through at the point in time, it's different as to how we go about addressing it. And if we are at that place where we are so depressed that we cannot come out of this slump, we have to admit it and get help. We have to admit, simply saying, you know what, just have a positive attitude, because I remember that. I remember persons telling me that, you know, just you need Jesus. The problem is that you need Jesus.
Oh, yeah. People will say that a lot
You
when you
know?
go through something difficult. But you know what? The honest truth is you
Mhm.
need Jesus, but you also need a therapist if you're going through something hard. You need a counselor, a psychologist, a psychiatrist. You need to talk to someone. And that's where Willie was getting to, I think. That yes, you need
Right.
to speak in order to heal. You need to talk to someone. You need to be able to let that out because
Mhm.
it will bottle up and eventually you will explode. Um, it is in my book, I talk about that. Where when you go through something, Beverly, you know, like I know, you have waves of emotions. And
Right.
yes, you do have days of anger and fear. And when you go through something where it changes your outlook on life, the way that you thought before, and it shakes you to your core.
Oh, mhm.
It is hard. You guys, it is
Mhm.
hard. I'm about to cry. It is hard to have a positive outlook. It is very hard. And sometimes it takes other people forcing you to go to therapy, to get help. But if you don't have someone, force yourself because you're worth it. You're
Right.
worth it. I'm speaking from experience to say it is worth it to speak to someone. It is worth it to write and to journal. It is worth it to find the things that made you happy before and to do them again. There is there is this there was a study done by the University of Michigan and Harvard on the effects of music on people. And music is a therapy. You listen to the music that you like, and it takes you, it even works for people that have Alzheimer's. They start to remember when they hear songs from when they were younger that they liked. Music has a way of changing your neurons and the serotonin levels in your brain in order for you to change your mood. If you're going through a difficult time, I live by the music that I listen to is uplifting. The mood that I want to be in, I know the kind of music that I want to listen to. If I want to be taken back to a happy memory, I know the exact songs that will get me to dance, get me to laugh, get me to
Mhm.
get me to cry even, right? There are certain things
Mhm.
that they're either empowering or they just take you back to a place where you're like, you know what, I can't hear that song. Um, and music is powerful, but
Mhm.
so is laughter. So when you're going through something, what I find that if I am sad or depressed, that comedy helps. Um, even when you're in those funks where you're like, I do not feel like laughing, right? You're just so stubborn, like, oh, I can't take this, this is enough. Like, my
Right.
life is just horrible. And then you turn on a funny movie and you realize, okay, maybe it's not that bad. Maybe it's not that bad. I just laughed. You get to a point
Mhm.
where you have, because for so long, I don't know about you, but for so
Mm.
long, I felt like I wasn't going to be able to laugh again. And I don't know if people picked up on it, that I wasn't, I mean, I felt like I was walking around just kind of like,
As
just
a
a mummy or a
I
zombie,
guess. Yeah.
and but then I got to a point where one day I realized that I laughed, right? I really, because it was a true laugh. It wasn't a fake masked laugh. It was, I
Mhm.
truly laughed. And I was like, oh, I like that feeling. I can do that again, right? So, yeah. Willie said, I've always said my brain is the engine to the body. That is, yeah.
Yes.
So you have your mind is it's so powerful. The things you think, things you say about yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. We
So
had
powerful.
asked the Facebook user who said that you were a wonderful mother to say who she is.
Kaylin.
And
It was
it
Kaylin.
is Kaylin. So,
Yeah.
Kaylin, we are happy to have you on board this evening. Feel free to put your comments whenever you want. We would recognize them as we are recognizing William Sansa right now. He is just a wonderful audience who have always participate as long as he has the opportunity to be on board with us, and we are
Yeah.
so grateful for that.
And
You
we
know,
appreciate it.
I have found out one thing, that talking is good, but sometimes just rehashing the situation, or the thing that happened over and over keeps you there. It keeps you
Mhm.
there.
Yeah.
I had the opportunity to listen Larry Crabb of Leeds, and he was a psychologist for years, until he himself, I think he went through cancer and stuff like that, and he had to revisit how he felt about psychology and persons going through trauma, sorry.
Mhm.
And he said it is more important for someone to have a friend than
Yeah.
to have a counselor. I remember going through some counseling sessions, and to me, I was not getting anywhere. I felt the same way. But what helped me, and is something that I encourage persons, when I started giving my story, it was like having a wound, a very bad wound without putting a bandage. And or a band-aid. And you were speaking earlier on about persons seeing that wound and being like really scornful or turned off by it. That
Mhm.
it was with me when I started giving my story,
Mhm.
because I didn't know how to filter it. I did not know how to say it in such a way that it would bring healing to me and to others. But on the journey, I learned. And I remember that was the prayer I said to God. I said, God, I'm going through this. I know I need to talk.
Yeah.
And I've been talking to counselors, but it have not been working. Just send persons who are going through what I am going through so that we could connect. And to be honest, that connection was one of my greatest points of healing. Why? One, I had answers within me that I didn't even know existed until I started ministering to other persons who were in the same situation as I.
Yeah. Yeah.
William says, people don't respect it enough. Look, talking is making you smile, Christine, and that makes me smile seeing that.
Thank you.
Yes, conversation is
Yeah.
really, and that's what Rita was born out of, loving to just have conversation, right?
Right?
It's just about conversation. Talking is important, but we are just saying,
Mhm.
don't just use the bandage.
Mhm.
That will cause you much harm still. Use the
Right.
band-aid. Make sure that whatever we're doing is bringing healing and not harm. Because one, it is very, very harmful not to admit that we are where we are at the point in time. That is one of the greatest downfall that we can, and even as an alcoholic, Christine, the first step is acknowledging that you're an alcoholic, right?
Yeah.
So the first step is acknowledging, here what? I'm angry, I'm bitter, and I really, at this point in time, don't really want to be around persons, to be honest. And when we come to terms with that, we know right there is where we start working on it. Why is that so? How can I change that? How can I go through this and still be a positive influence where I am? And be that positive influence, but still be able to heal, bring
Mhm.
healing to myself, because I am not fooling myself as to where I am at. I am literally working on myself.
Right. For yourself and for others. Everyone
And
else that will be in your path in your future.
right,
Mhm.
yes, it is. That healing is brought on by a holistic lifestyle. As you said, music, friendship, how
You know
we
what?
eat,
You know
how we
what? One of the hardest
exercise.
things for me, Beverly, was when I went through, um, because trauma is so many things, and I always bring up sexual assault, and it's hard, to keep talking about it over and over again. I'll be honest. It's hard to keep bringing it up. But when you say, like, having friends, like, I didn't have anybody. Counseling, like, my counselor was my the only friend that I had. Um, my closest friends, my best friend that I had known my almost my entire life basically blamed me for the assault happening to me. Um, and you'll learn in my book that my boyfriend at the time broke up with me, um, because I wasn't telling him the details. So he didn't believe me. So, for people that have gone through something and you don't have a friend, counseling is crucial. And it's funny because that that boyfriend was the reason why I went to counseling. And the counselor told me that as you go through this, because I would tell her, I haven't talked to him for like a week. And she was like, "Oh, well, it can be hard for partners to understand the trauma that you've gone through. And sometimes they will break up with their partner that has gone through something because they just don't understand. They don't get it. They don't understand why it happened and they don't want to deal with it. And we ended up getting to a point where he was like, you're building walls and you're not communicating with me." And it's like, I'm trying to heal myself. At looking back now, it was
Mhm.
the most beneficial thing for me to not have those people that I thought would be there in my
Mm-hmm.
corner, because they would
Right.
not have been there for the right reasons. They were judging me, and
Mm-hmm.
if someone is judging you through your trauma, let them go. Let them go,
Right.
because it is not worth it to feel like you have to fight for a relationship when you're fighting for your own self, for you're fighting to be you.
Right.
So, if you have a friend, oh my gosh, that is so, like, it's
So,
a blessing, and take it and be so grateful that you have a friend that understands. But if you don't, you have to find somebody that will understand, hold your
very
hand through
important.
it, talk you through it,
Mhm.
and, uh, yeah, you need that.
Yes. And Christine, you are so right. I was just talking today with my well, counselor, because I did get counseling
Yeah.
after after June the 3rd when I tried to take my own life.
Mhm.
I had a counselor. So I don't want persons to go away with the idea that I'm against counselors. No way, right? I had a counselor, people, and
Right,
I still have him on speed dial that I could call at any moment and say, look, this is how I'm feeling.
right.
And right now we are going in, we are launching and I love therapy in collaboration, right? And I was telling him, I was saying to him just today, we have no excuse as to why we did not accomplish what we should or we ought to accomplish. Sometimes the things that we need the most is not there, it's not present. And what we have available may take longer, it may be more complicated, but we owe it to ourselves to go through that complication and come out on the other side. We owe it to ourselves.
Absolutely.
So you don't have friends, by all means. And you have friends, we can have friends and still need a counselor.
Yeah,
Still need a counselor.
yeah.
But amid all of that, there are so many of us who've been through so many different situations, so many different traumas, so many different abuse. We know what it felt like to have persons turn their back on us. We know. And now we have the responsibility to be a friend to someone in need. And this is why we choose to be on this program, right, Christine?
Yes.
This is why we choose to put ourselves out there because we know how it feels like to feel alone going through your trauma.
Right, right.
Growing up, the
Yeah,
toilet was my place of was my sanctuary. Serious. I grew up in a big family.
I did
And
too, and I didn't tell anybody.
was that?
I didn't tell my family for a year what I was going through. I mean, they knew, like, when I talk about, like, divorce and single parenting, of course they know about all of that, but the sexual assault, they had no clue. I did not tell them for a year,
Mm.
whole year. So, and I know that it took you a while, right, to tell your family
To
what was
talk to
going on.
anyone, to talk to anyone.
Yeah.
I had been from age 5 to age 16. I experienced sexual abuse,
Mhm.
and I did not. I went to school. It was tough for me to perform in school. I went to church. It was tough for me. And many times I spent just crying, just crying. I remember Christine going to school, and I suffered with migraines. And I had to lie down on that hard chair or bench and remain there after everybody left school by myself, just waiting to get released from this migraine. And I knew that that migraine was coming on because of the stress that I was under.
Yeah.
And said before, the toilet was my sanctuary. The toilet was my place where I sat and I cried my eyes out. And I know the devastating feeling of being alone, just alone in this thing. And I've grown to realize there's so much persons going through it that I was never alone.
Right.
And so now I want for others, Christine want for others, we want for others to know that you're not alone. You are
Right.
not alone.
You are not alone. So many of us go through so many things, and yes, we all have our own unique story, but we all go through something. None of us go through life without experiencing some type of trauma, whether it's bullying at school, sexual abuse, physical abuse, emotional abuse, a financial crisis, divorce, death of a loved one, witnessing a traumatic event. We all go through something. We're all going through a pandemic right now. That
Yes.
is affecting all of us, from the elderly all the way down to little newborns.
Michael and
You know,
Kiara.
their first memories of their family members meeting them is with a mask on.
I'm making too much
That's not
noise.
normal for a baby. You know, babies are not being able to be held and welcomed by the entire family. So this pandemic is affecting all of us, all ages. We're all
Mm.
going through trauma collectively. No one gets out of life without some type of challenge. We are being challenged. So, um, with that, I think that maybe we should talk about tomorrow.
Yes, something a little more upbeat.
Yes. So
Yes.
let me transition us this way, because in life we all have a lot of challenges. We all go through something. And tomorrow is the birthday of a man that went through his own challenges, and he gave himself the power to speak when people thought that he was just the dumb twin. And years of teasing, moments of sleeping in garbage dumpsters because he was betting on himself. He believed in himself enough to become a wonderful motivational speaker and impact many people's lives, including my own and Miss Beverly Briggs. So tomorrow, I have decided that we will be going live from 10 a.m. to noon Eastern Standard Time. And we are going to wish Mr. Les Brown a happy birthday. And we are going to give him his flowers and tell him thank you. So there will be a variety of people, I hope, that will be joining us from our Power Voice training and other people that have been impacted by Mr. Les Brown. So, yes, if you are a speaker and you would like to say hello and thank you to him tomorrow, for the impact that he has had on your life, then reach out to me or Beverly, and we'll be happy to give you the login information to get backstage with us tomorrow.
Yes, I'm so looking forward for this moment. Yeah. Listen, Les Brown is one of the first person that really inspired me just to be me. Especially when I started establishing my organization, Pearl Foundation, I felt that persons made me feel so inadequate because I didn't have a doctor degree. And I myself began to feel so inadequate. And then I don't, it was so funny that I was introduced to him at that moment when he was talking about his challenges growing up and his educational status and being able to push forward and do something different. And I don't know, from that day on, I just fell in love with who he was. And when I listened to him and even doing the course, he's so humble.
Yes.
He is so humble, Christine. And he is a fighter. And we should honor him for that because he have been battling cancer when so many persons who have probably been diagnosed after him
Yes.
is now dead because he just has that mindset of fighting, that mindset of I am someone worth fighting for. I am enough. I
Yes.
was created by God with a purpose on my life, and I am going to live it and enjoy every moment of it. You know, he even spoke about being bullied, not just by the students, but also by the teachers. And he brought tears in my eyes that day when he spoke about them locking him in the cupboard
Mm-hmm.
in the
Horrible.
heat of the day just so that he could admit to them, and it would have been admitting to himself that he was the dumb twin. But today, the same strength and determination he had to sit down in that cupboard, that even when they did open the door, he passed out. The same determination and strength that he had is the same determination and strength that he shows forth in his life every single day, making him a great icon in this world
Yes.
and the greatest motivational, not just speaker, but person. Because it's not just what he say, but how he live.
Yes. Ah. Yeah. And think he knows that although his time is limited, as is all of ours, right? We all have a limited time here. He's training up people to be able to speak and inspire, to motivate, and to just spread love in the world. He was put here on purpose and for a purpose.
Mhm.
And he tells us to live full and die empty. And I fully intend tomorrow to be able to say, I gave it my all to tell him thank you.
And we're asking those of you who are viewing and you know that he have touched your life, be a part of this platform tomorrow, please God. It is so unfortunate that a lot of times we show our appreciation when a person passes and they cannot hear what we have to say anymore. We are given this opportunity to reach out and to tell someone who have given their entire life to helping persons, to encouraging persons, to motivating us. We have this opportunity to say thanks. So let's say it. Let's come out and let's say it and let's warm his heart so that he would know how much he is being appreciated right now.
Yes.
And as usual, we want to end by giving you our information. We're not just giving you this information for information's sake. We want to be a part of your life. We want to make a difference. We know what it is like. We feel this sting of pain and we've been through hell. And we want you to know that we will stand with you. That it is not impossible to come out on the other side, to be happy and to be whole. And we want to take you on that journey with us. So Christine, tell them how to reach you.
All right. So, you guys, the book cover for I Choose Joy, an Overcomer's Guide Through a Secret Journey is almost done. It's almost done. So I got a book cover and I was not fully loving it. It was wonderfully done by the designer. It's just not what I envision yet. So it's back at the table. Hopefully, by the time, well, not by the time I talk to you next, because I hope you're listening tomorrow, but hopefully by next week, we'll have an image that I'll be able to share with you. The book will be launched March 20th of 2021. Again, it's called I Choose Joy, an Overcomer's Guide Through a Secret Journey. Keyword being through, right? You're going through hell, keep going. Don't stop there. Don't sit in it. Don't dwell in it. Keep going. Just put one foot in front of the other. I'm also going to have a course that will come out April 6th, 2021, called Resilient Royalty. And you can find that on my website. The website is www.kristinbrooke.com. That's KristinBrooke.com. You want to go to the area that says connect with us and select the course that says Resilient Royalty. Put in the promo code, okay? That is key to saving a lot of money. Put in the promo code called CROWN. I think you can remember that. Resilient Royalty. You're going to put on your crown when you take that course, and you're going to save a lot of money. You'll get a t-shirt from me, and you'll also get a signed copy of the book. If you need to reach out to me, email is there. Social media is also there on my website. I'd love to hear from you. I love when people leave me messages and send me emails. And I look forward to working with you one-on-one for 5 weeks. And then as content is added, we'll have Q&As and more information will come out about that. But if you pre-register, you're saving a ton of money. So just go ahead, take care of it now. And I will be sending reminders once you sign up. Beverly.
Lovely. I'm looking forward for that book. I am looking forward for that book, Christine. I'm so excited about it.
Yeah.
And as we speak about books, guess what? This book is, no, it's not mine.
I know it's not, but it's a book.
I'm saying this book was written by my mother, Jennifer Baptiste. And it is Reflections of Agape. Over the years, she had a man in her life who gave her everything she needed, and that was God. Yes. I know that some of us have had bad experiences with who God is because of situations and persons in our life. But she have had a great experience. And she is saying, out of all the adversity in her life, and this is my story also, eh? And I know it's Christine's story too. Out of all the adversity in her life, he has been there, and she wants to share it with you. And so this is a devotional, Reflections of a Agape by Jennifer Curtis. You would get it, you are able to get it on Amazon. I put it up on my story so
Good
that you
job.
can see links and you are able to get this book on Amazon.
Go, mom. Go, mom.
Yeah. Actually, Roseanne Buttis, continue on your road to healing, ladies. May God be with you. She just,
Thank you.
yes, she is. She is, even though I don't know, we have never really seen her committed, or sometimes, I don't see her showing up. She is one of our supporters that listens every week as long as she's available. And I am
Oh,
so
thank
happy for
you.
her support. Thank you, Roseanne Batiste, my mother. Thank you very
Oh,
much. We do appreciate your support. Now, along with that, I have been working along with Global 24/7 Lifeline. Global 24/7 Lifeline is and it's a lifeline that you can call when you need a friend. You can call when you need someone to listen. You can call for prayers if you want. You can call and we would be able to link you to somebody professional who can deal with whatever you're going through if you would like that also. That number for Global 24/7 Lifeline is 4420398211. That number is 442039982118. It is a global lifeline, so you can call from wherever you are. However, it is based in the UK. So for persons in the UK, it is a free lifeline for you. We are working on having it free in Trinidad and Tobago very soon. We are working feverishly on that. And so if I can get Christine aboard, not that she wouldn't want to be, it's just that as a resilient coach, things could get quite hectic. But if I can get her on board, we would also be able to make a branch in the USA where you can call for free.
That would be amazing.
Yes. So again, I want to give the number again because there's so many persons out there that just really need a listening ear. Sometimes we don't want to talk to the persons that we know because we are afraid of how they would react. We want to speak to someone that is outside of our circle. We can also be able to get to speak to persons that is outside of our country because it's a global thing. So there are persons from Trinidad and Tobago who are answering calls. There are persons from Australia. There are persons from the UK. There are persons from the United States who are answering calls. And so you can talk to persons from all around the world. And the number is 442039982118. I am the director of Pearl Foundation. Pearl Foundation was established to be an umbrella organization, which means it will be working along with organizations such as Global 24/7 to make sure that persons are able to have somebody there when they need. And the other person that I am working along, the other group that I'm working along with is called Grace Ministries with Pastor Reed. And he has a love therapy model. That love therapy model is based on a holistic lifestyle. And we are also working along with other persons. So we have a place that we would be using for as a mental sanctuary where persons could come and they could start off courses that are able to put them on the right track. We will also be developing many communities where we are empowering others to reach out and to help others so that we can be able to see a betterment in our country and elsewhere, because it also would be something online. And so we would be launching on March the 6th. We will be launching online. So that is something you can look forward to. You know where you can meet me on Beverly Briggs on Facebook. My email address is titipearlfoundation@gmail.com. Do have a blessed time and know that you are loved. We may not know you, but just because we know and understand what it is like to go through pain and to go through hard times, that gave us reasons to love you and to let you know you are worth loving.
Yes.
Christine?
And we will see you guys tomorrow from
Mm-hmm.
10 a.m. to noon. We love you. We wish you strength, happiness, joy. We will see you tomorrow to show our gratitude and our appreciation to Mr. Les Brown, also known as LB Triple P. Les Brown, your platinum playing papa, aka Mamie Brown's baby boy. That's our story, and we're
That's
sticking
our
to
story,
it.
and we're sticking with it.
Have a good night.
Bye now. And remember, his favorite, what do you call
Character?
it? Character is Mickey Mouse.
Yes.
So if you have something, a jersey, Mickey Mouse is, whatever it is with Mickey Mouse, remember to do your presentation with it. He would love that with his all.
Yes.
Bye for now.
Bye. Thanks for watching.
Yes.